Hello my friends, for today's beer review we're going to be taking a look at Odell Brewing Company's 90 Shilling Ale. So, we have another brew by Odell Brewing Company. Odell I first found out about here locally when I bought a 4-pack of their Mercenary Double IPA, and it was phenomenal, one of the best IPAs I'd ever drank. And you know what happens when I buy a beer from a brewery and I like it a lot? I try more of their other beers just to see if they're as good. And this is a Scotch ale. You can't really tell that from the title, but it has an interesting story behind the title, which I'm about to read to you. This beer comes in at 5.3% ABV, so it's not just a little bit higher than your standard domestic brew. You could probably drink a couple of them and be just fine. And it says, 90 Shilling is our flagship beer. Smooth and complex, 90 Shilling is a medium-bodied amber ale with a distinct burnished copper color or a deeply pleasant aroma. And a deeply pleasant aroma. A shilling was a British coin used from 1549 to 1982. The name 90 Shilling comes from the Scottish method of taxing beer. Only the highest quality beers were taxed 90 shillings. We think you'll find this original ale brilliantly refreshing and worth every shilling. So when I say Scotch ale, it's not a Scotch ale, it's a Scotch-styled ale, basically. So I've said my piece about that beer. I'm only drinking this out of the Duvel glass. I like to use this to assess new beers and darker beers and the like. So, without further ado, let's get the cap off and see what this beer is all about. I have high hopes for it since I like this brewery so far because they seem to be pretty high quality. Pours a nice, rich kind of copper color. Let's see if we can get a bit of head on this. Very nice. This poured a good finger to finger and a half of just slightly tan head. Up into the light, it is extremely dark, almost copper, ruby, amber sort of color. Almost mahogany even. Looks very good in the glass, as you can see. There is a decent amount of bubbles actually streaming up from the bottom to reinforce the head. So let's give it a smell and see what it's all about. Real big on the malts. There's definitely some smoky milkiness to this. A little bit of a hop presence in the back. Not super forward on the hops though. It just kind of smells like a Scotch ale. But the smokiness, the malts, and kind of a light creamy milkiness are what really stand out in this beer. It smells pretty good. Let's give it a taste and see if it stands up to the test and of the example set by their Mercenary Double IPA. Not bad. It's not overly complex in its taste though. It's got a ton of maltiness up front and kind of just that classic beery beer taste in the back. It does have a nice creamy mouthfeel to it though. And maybe just a little bit of kind of an oaky, woody, bitter smokiness in the back. Just a touch of it though. Comparable taste to this would be if you've ever had Left Hand Brewery's Sawtooth Nitro. Imagine that, just a little higher flavor than that. Not too much, but just a little bit stronger than that. And not quite as creamy, obviously, because it's not a nitro beer. But this is a good beer for what it is. I think this would pair well with food. This is something you would definitely drink as a drink with a meal. It's not really a standalone beer, per se. Having this with a steak, a burger, fries, hot dogs, corn dogs, especially a burger or a steak would be fantastic with this beer. Yeah, it's a good, solid, sessionable drinking beer. Nothing that's going to blow your socks off or anything, but it's a solid beer. And a solid beer, I give it a solid score. I would give it a 7.9. 7.9 out of 10. It's good. It's not fantastically amazing. It's certainly not a okay or bad beer. It's a good beer, good solid drinking beer. Like I said, very sessionable, would pair well with food, but standalone, it's really not that special. So my suggestion to you is, if it sounds interesting, go pick up a 6-pack of 90 Shilling by Odell and have it with a nice steak or a burger or what have you. But yeah, 7.9 out of 10. Good beer. Hope you guys enjoyed the review as always, and stay tuned for the next one.